it means a lot, but it's gonna feel way better when I get to go against Joshua Pacquiao and unify that world championship and take that away from him twice in Manila. Man, that means a lot coming from my jiu-jitsu coach, Alex Hody. We've worked day in, day out on our jiu-jitsu game. And my coach, James Lee and Brian Harper, I've had a great staff here this whole camp. So to get a black belt tonight means the most, especially coming from Alex. And he's a very humble man, but I do think that he's probably one of the best grapplers in the world right now. So yeah, it meant the world to me. It's right up there, man. I've been doing jiu-jitsu for almost my whole life. I mean, I think I started when I was like 9. So this is an accumulation of time, and I think I would have maybe had my black belt if I would have stayed at my original gym in Indiana. But, I moved a lot. Mixed martial artists have to move a lot. And I'm glad that Alex had that understanding and was just like, yo, this guy deserves his black belt. But it was a super big surprise. Was not expecting it. And yeah, Alex is literally probably one of the best practitioners and the best coaches in Michigan. Yeah, Gustavo is smaller. I went against Bokar Masinyane. I kind of finished him in a similar fashion. So I knew that the body triangle was going to be there and that we would find that. But at the same time, I mean, his clinch game is really, really good. But besides that, I think that I was better than him across the board in every other aspect of mixed martial arts. He did put me on my back for the first time in my whole career. So props to him for that. I was trying to just keep him there and try to get him tired because I knew he was going to get tired within that second to third round. But yeah, I'm thankful for actually going on my back for once and having to rely on my jiu-jitsu and my other practicing skills. I was listening to a little bit of everybody in the match, but James and Alex, they really took it over, and Harper, he's probably one of those guys that keeps quiet, but he's very vocal when the time comes. And I was hearing a little bit of everything, and I remember Alex, when I had that body triangle, he was telling me to stay tight, chest to back, as tight as I could, and I think that really helped me gain that rear. People hate me because I constantly say that I'm better than Joshua Pacquiao, but I am better than Joshua Pacquiao at the end of the day, and I know that he's going to be waiting and trying to get better and trying to understand me and trying to get his wrestling better, trying to get his whole self better. And I know that he just had a ACL tear. I don't know how big the ACL tear was, but I'm super excited to go against Joshua Pacquiao again. He's a great Christian, a great person, and a great fighter. And if I can go back to his home country, and I love Manila, I love the Philippines. All those people are huge fans of mixed martial arts. So going over there and being around that fan base, around that energy again, that would mean the world to me. But do I think that I would finish Joshua Pacquiao this time? 100%. I'm sorry that happened this past fight. And the people that say that I did that on purpose, it's like, oh, okay, you don't know how much money I just lost. You have no idea how much, the belt meant to me and how much, that meant to my family. So let's run that back in a good way, good fashion. But at the same time, he's second on my list, but I do want to bury his name. I'm tired of hearing the same name. It's almost been 3 years of hearing Joshua Pacquiao. I'm glad that I got to go against Gustavo Ballart this past time. So thank you, One Championship, for that. But yeah, Josh, he's second on the list compared to Demetrius Johnson. Yeah, Demetrius Johnson was, somebody that I was watching on TV at Buffalo Wild Wings, winning a world title in 2012, thinking that, hey, that could be me one day. And luckily I believed in myself enough to where I ended up getting into the UFC, and I was that close to where I was going to fight him. But now I think that God gives me signs, and getting into one championship and getting it at the accolades where I am now and where Demetrius is now. And now we have kind of like almost like a common opponent between Gustavo. I think that it would be a great matchup between me and him. Reese McLaren, he's boring. All these other guys in flyweight, they're pretty boring. Kairat, he ruined his chance by doing steroids, by cheating. So I'm not a cheater. I'm somebody that goes and tries to go up and beat competition. I climb the mountains, and I'm not worried. And I know that goats are really good at climbing mountains too, but I'm not afraid to try to chase a goat. 100%. I think that everybody's just going to keep on sleeping on me until I put him to sleep. So it doesn't matter. I went against Pacquiao, and I beat Pacquiao on the feet. I went against a Cuban Olympian. I beat an Olympian on the ground. So, and I took him down twice in his own game, which is Greco-Roman. So I show people that I'm willing to take all, and I'm not worried about anybody else in the division. So if they want to give me Quieto Yamakita for another interim belt, or if they want to give me Sanzar, which Sanzar, he's only had, really one fight outside of the top 10. So I think that Yamakita would be a good fight for me. But Sanzar, hey, I'm not worried about you either, bro. You can beat all of these guys that are just coming up, but when you hit that top 5, we'll see how just good you are. It's a privilege to be a father to my daughter. She is the most amazing thing in the world. I can't really even explain it. I wake up in the morning and the first thing that I see is just a big goofy smile. And, you can't help not to, you might have struggles in camp. You might have struggles in life. But when you see that, everything just disappears, and you just see that big shitty grin, and it's the best thing, man. And it really has changed me as a person, and it's changed me as an athlete as well, and my hunger and my drive towards this sport. Yeah, thank you guys so much for supporting me throughout these past 2 years, and especially this past year when all hell broke loose, and I had people saying that I was a cheater, people saying I was a bad athlete, that I'm not a good fighter and stuff like that. I appreciate everybody that actually hung with me and understood where I stood as a mixed martial artist. And I want to thank all the people back home too in the United States that went and tuned in. I try to stay away from my phone as much as possible, a day away from fights, but holy crap, there was a lot of people tuning in to watch me and Gustavo's fight from my hometown to Michigan to all around the United States for the people that know me. So yeah, it means a lot, and thank you guys so much. And I'm 31 years old, man. This is just the start. I'm coming in, and like I said, I'm looking for goat meat, and I think that Demetrius Johnson, if he wants to fight me, I know it's completely up to him and completely up to Chatri and one championship, but I feel like that's the money fight, and that's the way to go. But Joshua Pacquiao, if he's still on the back end, then he ends up getting better, and his knee feels better and his neck feels better, then let's run it back in Manila. We can run it back in the United States. We can, November 8th, maybe somebody will back out, and something big will happen there.